Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested, and we got
Bill from Punished Props, and now
from Tested as
Tested.
well. Bill Doran, welcome to our office. You're actually here to do some build videos with us
Yes, I am.
our Tested Premium subscribers. But while you're down here, we also had you bring some of your projects that you've shown off on your YouTube channel.
Yes, we've been busy up in Seattle, and it's no secret that I'm a fan of Destiny, the video game. And I was playing the game, and I got the gun, I believe it's called Dead Man Walking. If I'm wrong, you'll tell me in the comments.
Yep.
And it's a fully automatic pistol, and I was playing with it, and I was like, I have a fully automatic airsoft gun in my shop, as one does. And I thought I could mod that airsoft gun into a gun from Destiny. And that's what I've done.
It's a way to make a prop that could be used for like a short film.
Yeah, especially for like DIY or low budget short films. A lot of people like using airsoft guns because it gets the action. You can add a muzzle flash in post pretty easily. You can add a sound effect, and it looks super, super legit.
Now, we should also say that because it looks so legit and because airsoft guns in general look incredibly real, some of them they don't even have the orange tip, this is not for public cosplay.
Right. So for me, this is something I would use for like a photo shoot, a private photo shoot for your cosplay, or for a video shoot, or especially for low budget films. But if I'm going to walk around Emerald City Comic Con in my Lord Shaxx costume, this will stay home.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it looks amazing, and walk us through the build of this, because you have this model of this base airsoft gun. How did you design something to fit on top of it and be perfectly fit?
Right. So the idea, I wanted to not destroy the airsoft gun. So this is all completely removable. And B, make it look like the gun, but also have all of the function work so you could still use this airsoft gun. Now, I wouldn't go running around playing airsoft with this because it's a 3D print. It's an ABS plastic. It's fairly durable, but we were playing around with this earlier and the end broke off.
Sure.
It's not, from what I can tell, not durable enough to withstand the forces that if you're running around in a field playing airsoft. But it looks really cool. So I had to design it so that it would fit on there. And it all comes apart. You want to see how?
I would love to see how.
Okay. Well, I stole these screwdrivers here so I can take everything apart.
Nice.
Using actual hardware.
What is your 3D modeling program of choice? And you know you're designing for 3D printing.
Yeah. So these days, I'm doing everything in Fusion 360. It's meant for manufacturing, and I am manufacturing, so to speak, my 3D printed things. And what's cool is when I was designing this, I could build an analog in 3D of the airsoft gun and measure everything to that. So I would have a pretty good idea that it would fit. Now, it doesn't mean I got it right away. There was quite a bit of trial and error, lots of measuring and getting everything to work. But
right, it's just like if you were building cosplay for you, you'd sometimes have a 3D model of your body or your head or whatever you're modeling around. You needed some type of 3D model of at least the top portion of this airsoft gun. And so that's just like calipers and measuring dimensionality.
Yep. And then learning a bit about the tolerances of the different 3D prints. So this is just cosmetic, but that hides a screw down there that is just a set screw that holds this front part on. So that you can loosen a little bit.
So you knew going into it how the various pieces would get screwed on. Like this just is like 3 pieces, essentially.
Right, so these 2 parts here, and then this cosmetic piece there. And those all attached to the airsoft gun. And what I ended up doing was printing this rail here. This is the part that took the most. This rail, I printed a dozen or so times to get it just right. There's a sight on the back of here that I took off, and a sight on here with dovetails that slide in and then screw down.
So that's real
super strong.
Yeah.
This is a nylon printed on the Ultimaker, so it's super strong. And it took me a couple tries to figure this out. Instead of screwing these through this piece and into the nylon, there are nuts embedded in there. So on the bottom side, which is awesome because I can tighten them really tight in here, and it just clamps everything together and holds everything super secure to this.
Right.
Which I learned after I shot this thing a few times, and these screws just flew right out.
Did you have to glue the nuts in to?
Nope, they're just held in with friction, and as you tighten them, they stay in place. And then I could take all this off, and this is still the airsoft gun it was when I purchased it.
And that actually makes this, without that dovetail, a simpler model to build on top of.
Yeah. And then I've just added some of that fancy aluminum tape there to hide the logo, because this is exposed when it cycles. And then I just added a little bit more there, you can see, to hold this down a bit. It seems to work pretty well.
But I want to talk about these pieces.
Yeah.
These are gorgeous 3D prints.
Well, thank you.
Modeled and printed just like that?
Yeah, I think so. It was a while ago. These pieces are printed on the Ultimaker 2, I believe, in ABS plastic.
Okay.
I prefer to print in ABS because it's much easier to sand. Tends to be easier to do any machining operations on after the fact. And then, put together. So I did this in a couple pieces. I glued the front part on here. Same thing, this guy here is just a handful of pieces done in separate parts so that I could print them in an optimal orientation and then glue them together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then was all the painting finish done after you had done your assembly?
Yeah.
And then you did the masking and you got your decal.
Absolutely, yeah. Once I knew it was going to fit and the whole thing worked, then I would go and paint it. But there were, I think these two pieces I actually got on the first try. But there were lots of, like this part here, and I did another smaller piece that would go around the collar to see if everything would match up. Those were printed a handful of times so that I could model this and know that it would fit.
Yeah, when we go on, sometimes we go on movie sets, and Adam visits a movie set, and a lot of the futuristic space guns are sometimes exactly done like this, where it's a toy gun or like an airsoft gun, and then modified with some 3D printing on top or sculpting on top to make it look like something that's futuristic.
Sure.
But look at all the operation, and operation is key here because the action all is retained.
Yep, it sure is.
Do you want to put it back together? And
We
show us
can
how it
do
works?
that for sure.
Awesome.
So let's do that. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. Oh, something else worth pointing out too, if you were doing like a low budget film and you made something like this and you needed many of them, you could mold and cast all of these parts. They would be a lot more durable and you could get a lot more copies that way. Also, if you don't have a 3D printer but you have an airsoft gun, you could make your own mod for whatever you're making out of foam or wood or plastic or foam core and attach it in a similar way. You don't necessarily have to 3D print it. So you've always got lots of options. I'm always impressed to see the ingenuity of low-budget filmmakers doing really cool, custom-made looking props and costumes.
The coolest thing I think about this is that you're using hardware to put it together. It's not glue. And when this operates, you have no volatility in the movements, right? It's not shaking. The plastic doesn't look like it's falling apart. It looks like it's one whole piece, which really sells it if you're going to be filming this, for example, in high speed or something.
Yeah. I could also modify this. I don't have to put this piece on here. I could put like a light or a laser sight, or you got customization options like that. So this guy goes on like this, and you just tighten it up. Like so, and like so. And there it is.
Looks like a space gun.
Sure does.
There you go. We have your clip here, magazine here.
Yeah, don't get that wrong, Norm.
That's right.
People will let you know.
And it's filled up.
We can fill it up right now, actually.
Put some green gas in there.
Yeah, this is the green gas that people use for their airsoft stuff. So I'll do this and try not to freeze my hand. That's all we need, I think. So just slide that in there, pull the slide back, practice good gun safety, and you're good to go.
Wow. Holy smokes.
It actually shoots a lot faster than the gun in Destiny.
Wow.
And there's no way, I tried, there's no way to slow it down.
All right. For your filmmaking needs,
Yes.
that's how you can make a pretty awesome futuristic gun based on video game or whatever your IP is, and do a cosplay shoot.
That's right. Maybe someone can add muzzle flash and sound effects in post. What do you think?
All right. Thanks so much, Bill. We'll be doing more projects to build, more builds on Tested, and you may see them in the future YouTube videos. But you should also check out Bill's YouTube channel, Punished Props.
That's right.
And where you have, and also your website, punishedprops.com, because you sell books on prop making, foam smithing. It's all really great stuff. Thanks for stopping by. We're gonna get back to building our other projects, and you can find those on Tested. We'll see you then.